So it's no secret that YouTube ads are getting more and more popular. Every single day, tons of new businesses jump onto the YouTube ads train after learning about all of the awesome results that they can get, which is pretty awesome. But for us as marketers, it's not the greatest thing because it brings in a lot of new competition. And with new competition, that means ad prices go up. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how you can stay ahead of the competition and mitigate some of those rising ad costs. My name is Neil. I work here at Linx Digital. We are an agency that is focused on YouTube ads. And if you haven't already subscribed to that channel, I highly recommend that you do so. We come out with a ton of content every single week that's focused on getting you the best results for your ad dollars. So go ahead, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's jump into the video. So in order to stay ahead of the competition, you have to make sure you're not making the same mistakes that your competition does. One of the big things that I see new companies that are coming onto YouTube make is that they treat the platform like every other social media. Time and time again, businesses that are coming from Facebook or Instagram ads will more or less just take whatever was working on Facebook and bring it to YouTube ads. So one way that you can stay ahead of them is by actually treating YouTube like a completely different platform, the one that it is. What do I exactly mean by this? So you're going to have to work on the creative from a YouTube angle. That means you can't use the same creative that was working on Facebook, the same sizing, the same type of editing. That stuff doesn't translate that well on YouTube. Every other social media platform, you're usually just scrolling your own feeds and it's all personalized and tailored to you. Whereas on YouTube, you actually go after the content that you're interested in. And this is a very big nuance. That means you're able to reach your customers in a very different way. Instead of just doing interruption marketing like you do on, say, Facebook or Instagram. And the sooner that you adopt these principles, the better your campaigns will be. Everything from ad creative to even the way you optimize your campaigns. Like I mentioned, creative is the king on YouTube, and you can't really bring the same creative that you had on Facebook. So in order to stand out from the competition, especially everybody with a cell phone these days, one of the easiest ways to stand out is to up your production quality. This is probably one of the easiest things that you can do that will make sure that your videos come across as professional as well as trustworthy. And the other thing that we always recommend with video creative is to always be testing and testing different angles, different hooks. With YouTube, it works a lot differently because the first 5 seconds of each video ad is super important. So here at Linx, we like to encourage you to test out several different hooks to see which one resonates the most with your audience. Now, these are things that most people often overlook. They usually just take whatever ad was working on Facebook and they just slap it on YouTube and then cross their fingers and hope that it works. However, if you're a smart marketer, you're gonna be wanting to test different hooks with your different bodies. And this combination will lead you to come up with far better ad creatives at a much higher rate compared to your competitors. However, with that in mind, I think you are going to have to focus on the biggest thing, which is your actual product itself. And this is probably gonna make the biggest impact when it comes to beating out your competition on YouTube ads. So you're going to want to diversify your offer if you see a ton of competitors flooding the space. There's basically two simple ways to go about this. One, the obvious one, is to actually change your offer and offer something unique, something that the audience hasn't seen before. I understand this is easier said than done, but for those of you that can't, change your offering on a whim, what I recommend is actually to change the way you market your offer. So you're going to want to change your unique selling mechanism, right? This is a fancy term, which basically means how you brand and package your offer. I'll give you an example. So recently there's been a ton of online courses and course creators jumping into the market with courses on how to teach people to lose weight with intermittent fasting, right? And if you're just one of like 30 other coaches all offering the same thing, all going after the same audience, you're never gonna stand out. You're never gonna have that diversification that is going to lead to high conversions. So what I recommend is to actually keep the product the same, but package it in a different way. So instead of saying something like intermittent fasting, you could say intermittent energy reduction, which more or less means the same thing. However, it's a term that nobody's ever heard of. So somebody that's watching the ad is going to be more inclined to click on your ad as opposed to the other 30 because it's something new, it's something unique, it's something that intrigues them. So take this principle, make sure that you're diversifying not only your offer, but the way you're also selling. And my final tip is for the hardcore ad buyers, and this would be to make sure that all of your ads are super engaging. What I recommend is to actually see the trends that are happening on YouTube. Because you are advertising here, it makes sense to keep up with the trends that organic YouTube videos follow, especially the ones that are getting tons of views. Here's how you can actually apply that in principle. What I recommend is going up and looking up some of the biggest YouTubers, people like Mr. Beast, David Dobrik. These are the people right now that are getting the most views on YouTube, and they have a pretty good grasp on what gets their audience to watch their videos over and over and how to keep them engaged. Now, these people do a lot of interviews where they discuss a lot of the hidden tactics that they use to make their videos as engaging as possible. And for you as an advertiser, this should be a goldmine. You can employ some of the same techniques that these people use and start installing them into your ads. This is things like using humor, cutscenes, transition, video pacing, even the way the videos are filmed, using all of these elements to make your ads better. And I want to mention that this is a forever evolving process. The videos that blew up 2 years ago are very different than the videos that are blowing up today. So you're always going to have to innovate and come up with new ideas to keep your audience hooked and engaged throughout the video. And we're seeing some of those same trends with ads. Some of the same ads that used to kill it back in the day aren't doing the same because the marketplace has evolved, and you really want to be at the forefront of that, especially if you want to be better than your competitors. If you're at the cutting edge of YouTube ads and the way they're filmed and the way they're produced, I have no doubt that you'll be at the forefront of getting those conversions as well. So I hope that you guys got a ton out of this video, and with this information that you can go out there and always be a step ahead of your competition. Like I said, if you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video.